What's up, guys? It's Higgins in Japan here with another edition of the Friday video. The Friday video is the video that I make here in my car on a Friday as I drove home from work. You guys get to see my face and you get to see what's in front of me. As you can see, the sun is setting. You can see Mount Scuba straight ahead, kind of. There's buildings blocking it. But let's get on to it. So this Friday video, as promised, took your questions last week for a video and forgot most of them because I was exhausted. I'm tired now, but I have a list on this paper, on this notepad of questions, people's names, people to thank for the questions. First question, let's just jump right into it and get to it. Josh asked, and he asked last week, asked a question and I answered it. I believe, or maybe I forgot. I don't know. I forget. And I'm sorry that I missed your question. He wanted to know about reverse culture shock, like when I go back to the States, and also wanted to hear me talk about maybe some things that I appreciate about the U.S. more and things that I've grown to dislike. So I would say reverse culture shock things. I can adapt pretty easily, so going home, I think the biggest thing for me, like this past Christmas when I went home, I did have a moment where I kind of panicked for a second and thought, oh crap, am I on the right side of the road? Like, because I hadn't driven in a while, so there was just like one of those moments where I thought, oh, wait, what side of the road am I on? Okay, I'm fine, like, let's go. And so like that's kind of like the biggest thing that's happened. I would say I miss the convenience of being able to just walk to the grocery store or walk to the convenience store or just kind of get around, get to the train station easily, and use that kind of thing, because where I live in Pennsylvania, like everything's just really spread out and really far apart. And like my parents live in one town, and like my friends all live kind of in the area where we went to college, so like they're kind of farther away, so like it takes a while to get around to places. And so that's one of the things that kind of I notice whenever I go back to the States. Not really culture shock stuff though, nothing that I can think of other than like people like in the service industry being rude. And like I used to work in the service industry. I worked in food service, I worked in retail, and so I know all about like working during the holidays, and it's a horrible time to work. But man, like just little things that annoyed me were like I was in Chicago flying home, and like I had like a 4-hour layover, so I wanted to get something to eat before my next flight, and like the dude running the register didn't look up from his cell phone one time. Like I was trying to buy stuff and he was just like, what do you got? Alright, and just like punched it in the machine. Like if he would have looked up from his phone for 3 seconds, he would have seen what I had. And just stuff like that, like service, like if that were to happen in Japan, like you would have to find another job probably. I mean, I've never seen anyone at like 7-Eleven or McDonald's or Mossburger or any of those places on their phone ever. Like I've just never seen it. And so, yeah, I guess is that culture shock? I don't know. Things that I have grown to appreciate about the U.S. I don't know. That's a difficult thing for me to answer, because it's not like I don't appreciate the things that, you know, I benefited from in the United States. Like it's definitely a lot easier to just go and do things, because you don't have to really worry about like, oh, let's go see a movie. Oh wait, let's make sure that the showing's going to be in English, or you know, stuff like that. Whereas in the States, it's like, hey, let's go to a movie. All right, what time? All right, cool, let's go. Like you don't have to hold on. I got to check Google and see if this is like the subbed version or the dubbed version. Like I need to know, because I'm gonna pay for this movie and I kind of want to be able to understand what's going on without too much difficulty. So there's that. That was totally not a red light. Anyways, so there's stuff like that. Things that I've grown to dislike about America, I'm sure I could come up with a long list, but it probably was things that I already was kind of tired of when I was living in America at the time. My viewpoint of America now has changed a little bit, mostly because like things that happen in the news I don't see or hear either until much later or not at all. And like like when I lived in the States, I was very political and very like, or at least I thought I was you know, up to date on all this stuff. And like moving over here, it's just gotten very easy to just be completely out of the loop. And I mean, I guess that's no excuse. Like we live in the age where I can pick up my cell phone and read news from anywhere in the world. And so I guess it's just gotten down to me being lazy and not really caring. Not to mention the fact that like the political scene in America right now is like a burning house fire, and I just don't care as much about politics as I used to. I mean, there's things that I do care about, but I just, politically wise, I don't follow them anymore. And I don't even follow political things here in Japan. Like most foreigners that I run into that are like, oh, did you hear that Abe did this? And I'm like, yeah, I really don't care. Maybe I should. I don't know. All right. So we got a question from the ALT Insider, which I'm assuming was James. And he wants to know my most overrated Japanese food. And he also pointed out that natto is not an option. Well, that's because natto should never be an option. Because it's garbage. But I would say most overrated, and for me, it's been kind of tainted from school lunch. I don't like ramen. I don't like udon. Because, and I'm not complaining about school lunch, like 99.9% of school lunches I eat. Without fail, without complaints. I don't like broccoli. Some days we have broccoli and I eat it just because I probably should eat broccoli. But I'm just not a big fan of broccoli. Or cauliflower. Oh gosh, I hate cauliflower. They look like little mice brains, and I eat them. Part of it's just kind of like, well, this is my school lunch. This is what I'm being given. It's disrespectful to sit there and go, oh, I don't eat broccoli and I don't eat cauliflower, so I'm not gonna eat this, so you can just keep this. If it's natto, some days we'll get natto. I definitely will leave the natto behind, and I have no problem with that. The thing is with the ramen and the udon at school lunch is that like it has no flavor. Literally like no flavor. There's no seasoning in it whatsoever. And so actually in my desk, I'm gonna stop at Daiso so I can get myself some little salt and pepper shake or something. You gotta have something, because I swear it just has no flavor whatsoever. And it's, it's ramen, it's udon, it's got flavorless noodles, and it's got vegetables in it and a broth, and all of it tastes like nothing, like absolutely nothing. And I'm not complaining, please. I understand, like I have lunch to eat, so I shouldn't complain. But it just doesn't taste like anything. So like some days I just will eat like half of it and eat everything else. We had it today, so maybe that's why I'm a little bitter about the udon situation. And Kimmy asks, Japanese, oh gosh, I can't even read my own handwriting. I think she asked about, superstitions. Japanese superstitions. That's what that says. I can't read. So I didn't really know of any right offhand. Well, I knew of a couple. but I was like, well, there's got to be more than that. And I did a quick Google search, and there are a bunch, but like honestly, the ones that I was reading, I've never actually seen or heard people talk about. Which doesn't mean that they don't. I've just never come in contact with people that do that. One of the big ones is the number 4. In Japanese, sounds like the word death. So when you pronounce the word shi, it sounds like death. So a lot of times, people will pronounce it yon, like ichi ni san shi or ichi ni san yon, because it sounds like death. It's kind of like the same as like the number 13 is unlucky in the US, where like buildings used to not have a 13th floor or whatever. But I've never, some stuff that I read online about that was like, oh, you'll see office buildings that don't have the number 4. I've never seen that. I also don't spend a whole lot of time in office buildings. I actually work, so I don't see what that's like. And so, and also she wanted to know about popular restaurants that are in Japan that aren't in the United States. So of course you've got KFC, you've got McDonald's, you've got Wendy's, you've got Taco Bell, which is kind of so kind of a cash grab if you ask me, but whatever. But yeah, so there are places, there's like family style restaurants, they call them, where it's, you sit down at a table. It's your equivalent of like a Denny's or a Shoney's. Yeah, there's a throwback. Or a Big Boy type place. There actually are Big Boys here in Japan occasionally, and Denny's, but the Denny's don't have moons over my hammy, so they might as well not have Denny's in Japan. But there are places like Gusto and Joyful, and what is the other one? Caesarea. There's a whole bunch. They're like family restaurants, they call them. And they're basically, you can get whatever food. Usually like hamburger steaks and salads. And it's kind of like what I think, now this is my assumption, but it's kind of like what Japanese people think Americans eat. That's my take on the family style restaurant. There's also Moss Burger, which is a burger place, and they have a variety of different burgers, and my favorite is the teriyaki burger. You get yourself a teriyaki burger, some fries, and a milkshake, and you're good to go. And the cool thing about Moss Burger is a lot of them play like early 90s, late 90s, like R&B from America. But it's usually like super obscure stuff. And it's so weird. And I don't understand why. I don't care because I think it's awesome. I just don't know why they do it. But yeah, so there's those places. I'm sure I'm forgetting a million different others. There's Coco's Curry, but I believe that there are a few of those in the States. But like if you like Japanese curry, that's the way to get it. Like it's basically build your own curry. So you get to pick how much rice you want, the spiciness level, what stuff you want in the curry, if you want beef curry or pork curry, if you want like a little croquette thrown on top of there, get that. You want a boiled egg, get that. You can just make a monster size Coco's Curry extravaganza. And then of course you've got like all the little mom and pop places that sell, meat on a stick and bento shops and ramen and udon shops and stuff like that. So you've got all those little places as well. But yeah, there are quite a few different chains and quite a few different places that you can get food at while you're here in Japan. I recommend Gusto. They seem to be the top of the family dining experience, at least in my opinion. There's also Coco's. So there's Coco's Curry, and then there's Coco's, which is like a family restaurant. It's so weird that there's just a lot of places named Coco's. But anyways, yeah, so there's that. And of course, you've got your slew of convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, Lawson's, the Sunkus, which nobody should ever go to because it's just nobody should ever go to that place. So I mean, yeah, there are tons of places you will not go without if you are here in Japan. So thanks for sending in all the questions. Oh, I didn't do my softball moment of the week. Practice was weird this week because we only had 2 days where we practiced. The beginning of this week, what happened? Nothing happened. There were things going on. Well, Monday we don't have practices anyways. Tuesday there was like some meetings or something after school. I don't know because I wasn't there because I don't. Tuesdays I'm not at that school on Tuesday. Wednesday they just straight up didn't have practice. And Thursday we had practice yesterday, and today we had practice. We had a little bit of a shorter practice today because they have their first game tomorrow. So, yeah, so that should be interesting. Hopefully they do well. It'll be a good experience for the new girls to see a game, see how a game's played, kind of get, like, that's the thing. First year girls don't normally get starting positions. I believe that there might be a couple, at least one or two maybe, that will get starting positions at some point during this year. But the problem is you've got like all the third year girls that after this season they're done, so they've obviously earned, starting positions. And all the second year girls, there's more room because last year there were people that, moved on. And so, there's spots to fill for all the second year girls. And so they will have an opportunity to play more, which is good. They've really improved this past year. And so it'll be good for the new girls to see an actual game. They got their uniforms today. And so the older girls were there saying, okay, like tomorrow, this is what you need to wear. Don't worry about this, or, make sure you have that. So today was a shorter practice, and it went well. So that's all I've got. If you've got any questions or comments or suggestions, put those in the comment section below. And as always, head over to facebook.com/Higgins in Japan. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that you guys know how to do. And I will catch you later. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. I'm gonna have barbecue this weekend. I'm gonna go to a Texas style barbecue house, and I'll let you know how it is because I grew up in Texas, so I kind of know what good barbecue tastes like. Have a good one, guys. Peace.